Any well-run organization should have a direction and set goals to achieve. So NAMPA, as one of a well-run organization, has a 5-year strategic plan, which essentially started in 2022. So in this financial year, we are basically in the 3rd year of the strategic plan. And I'm glad to say that we have made significant strides, barring the limitations that persist. But in terms of our structure, when we started way back in 2022, we didn't have a properly defined commercial department, as it were. But reflecting 3 years down the line, I can say that we have a well-defined commercial department that has delivered. Of course, in terms of capacity, they still need to increase more hands on deck. In this past financial year, for the first time we can say we made profits or revenue, let's call it revenue, upwards of 10 million, something that we could not think of, before the strategic plan was put in place. So we have well-defined products that we are delivering on in the strategic plan. One of the key products for now is the printing project, where government has, as it were, has honored NAMPA by making NAMPA the official supplier of the presidential portrait. And that's a big deal. And again, because of a lot of things that happened, we cashed on major events in the country, and we documented those events by producing legacy books for the former president, the late president, and the founding father, legacy book for the current president, and all those are new products that are within the strategic plan. We have, in the terms of IT, we have restructured and revamped our newswire product, which we call NPES for short. I think even the website looks much better than it was. All that is because of what we have planned to shape our IT sector, our IT department. Come to talk about the core value, the core business for NAMPA, the editorial service. Prior to 2022, actually I would say going into the COVID period, 2019-2020, NAMPA was at the depth of its low, the lowest experience ever, whereby, truth be told, we were actually working just to make sure that we get by. The government subsidy was reduced by 1/3, and we still remained with the same amount of employees to take care of. Our activities, particularly in the editorial, were severely affected. We had to close off regional offices. We went to the extent even of auctioning off or selling of properties, like vehicles for our reporters. You can imagine what that does to the job. It really crippled us, and in the process we lost a lot of subscribers. So we had to rethink, how do we get out of this? And so that was actually the push perhaps that we needed. So we came up with a strategic plan with 6 objectives or products to pursue, I might not recall all of them here, by head, but that's what is driving our work. In terms of milestones, first of all, we have stabilized the apprehension among the staff, which is a key thing. During the bad period of 2020, 2022, we had a huge, what I would call human capital flight. We lost a lot of staff, and the morale of the staff went deep. But because of the achievements that we have scored through the strategic plan, I can safely say there's a stability, some degree of stability on the human capital front. In other words, when you have a stable human capital, you have a human capital that's able to work, that's able to deliver. Everyone is doing what they're supposed to do, and that shows in the amount of productive. That's one. Number two is the revenue front. Okay, we were realizing on a year-by-year basis around 1 million, 1.5 million surplus or profit at the end of every year, in the years of 2019 going to 2021. Of course, there was a period when we recorded maybe even a loss. But now, since the implementation of the strategic plan, in the first year of its implementation, if I'm not wrong, we recorded a surplus or profit of 5 million. All right? So in this previous financial year, we recorded a surplus of 11 million. So that is a huge success. Number two, it's in terms of the brand itself. Okay, our brand suffered a lot of loss of confidence. People didn't even know what NAMPA was. But now I can tell you, in the media industry, in our sector, I think we position ourselves very, very highly. We have a lot of confidence from our key stakeholder, the government itself, the OMAs. The OMAs have become our biggest customers and clients because of the confidence they have in our products and services. So our brand has really picked up that level of recognition that we need. In the process, we have regained some of the subscribers that we had lost before because of that. So that's a big achievement. We have, maybe talking about stabilizing the system, we have so far restocked some of the property that we sold off. We have managed to buy additional vehicles. We have managed to, as it were, to open or perhaps give more action to our regional offices where they didn't have vehicles. Now they have vehicles. They are able to reach far and near within their regions, and we have been able to recruit or to bring on board a number of freelance reporters that enable us to be present everywhere in the country. So our footprint is by and large everywhere in the country. I would say yes, we are. The trajectory is pointing in the right direction. Because if we can use this past financial year as a reference point, we have achieved and surpassed our KPIs in the strategic plan. And looking forward, and we are just in the middle of a 2-day management retreat, looking at the plans that are coming out from the departments, particularly the IT sector, the IT department. The IT department is poised to bring more impetus to our work. We had in the past had not had IT, supporting the work of commercial, supporting the work of editorial, even supporting the work of finance. But we are at an age whereby we are going to leverage ICT to such an extent that we should be able to do even much better than we have done so far. So yes, there are challenges, there are gaps. Glaring among them is our organizational structure is not yet where we would want it to be, but that's part of the plan that we are working at. The charge that I gave yesterday was a call for the team to think and to create itself as a high performance team. High performance team basically requires cohesion among the team itself, the spirit of collaboration among themselves, confidence, respect, working in unity. Everybody should know this is the goal towards which we are contributing. We are not islands of departments. We are components of one system to deliver on the targeted thing. So that's the message I've been emphasizing. That's why we are going through the strategic actions for this year, drawn from the strategic plan. So that from this workshop, someone in IT, someone in editorial, someone in HR will know that when I come to work every day, when I do what I do, it has an impact on delivering a particular product. And if we slack as one department, then we are actually pulling the other departments down, because we all are targeting one particular or a couple of outcomes. So that's the whole point. Our understanding of the merger is that it doesn't matter when and in what form it takes. The core mandate of informing the Namibian population will remain. And I want to believe even the New Era has the same understanding. So whatever New Era is doing, whatever NAMPA is doing, is basically to say that our mandate, in whatever form or shape we shall be in the merger, will persist. And since we don't know exactly when the merger will happen, it can happen sooner than later, it can happen much later, we are saying that's really not an obstruction. We deliver our mandate. We are empowered by the Act of Parliament to do what we are doing. And within that mandate, we are going to make the best. You see what a merger does? A merger does not destroy what is existing. A merger simply consolidates what already exists. So we are working with the view that at the point of merger, we shall be consolidating that new institution with the existing experience that we have. I'm not sure. Basically because of the merger. Okay? But if the merger happens in the next 3 years, that entity will be a much better entity than the current setup of NAMPA and New Era, because we are going to take the strength of both sides. So there's no way in the next 3 years, if the merger happens, that entity will be weaker. It can only be better. Minus the merger, 3 years from now, I see NAMPA being a truly multimedia institution, truly multimedia, whereby our activities shall be very much IT driven. We are in the 4th industrial revolution, and three years from now, NAMPA will be a leading content provider in that environment, because part of the infrastructure we are putting in place, even emanating from the current workshop, is actually targeting that status of being a truly multimedia institution, whereby we leverage the technology, we enhance the content in all its forms, like we have done. I think you have been here for a few years. Starting from last year to now, I think we have ventured into areas we never thought possible in terms of content. So we have moved quite a big chunk just in the space of 1 or 2 years in terms of enhancing our content. So that impetus is not going to be held back. It can only be much better. So our content will be broader, will be compelling, will be, exciting, so there are exciting times to come. Yeah, we have not allowed the external forces define us. We have not allowed even the challenges within to define us differently. That's why, at least for the longest period, beyond 5 years or so, we've never had a litigation against us. Our reporting has been on top, even when we didn't have the money, even when the staff morale was low. We never compromise the integrity stance of who we are. So I can only say we managed to survive, and we will do so even in the future because of being authentic.